Hello and welcome to another trip report. This time from Berlin Hauptbahnhof, the main station of Berlin. This isn't the first time that I'm here for a video. My very first trip report was on the train from the Netherlands to Berlin, to this railway station, and after that I continued my way to Berlin Hauptbahnhof, where I took the streets, the sleeper train to Moscow. That specific sleeper train is also departing from this railway station at this moment with a new timetable that started in 2020. Anyway, I'm not going to Russia today. Today I'll be going to the Czech Republic, to Prague. I'm taking a EuroCity train, but there are also railjet trains on this route. They will continue to Graz in Austria. Well, I will explain you more in this video. As always, I first show you the station where I'm departing from, which is Berlin Hauptbahnhof. I show you some really tiny shots of this station in other videos, so I will show you a bit more now. After that I show you and explain the trains, and at the end I will give you some views from the train. When you have any questions, just write them in the comments below. And of course, when you like this video, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. When you like to see more train related videos, like I say in all my videos, subscribe to my channel. For now, let's roll the intro. Before I start this video, I'll show you a graph that will show the environmental impact when you're traveling by train on this route compared by cars and planes. Of course, trains won't clean the air, but the environmental impact is a lot less than when you're traveling by car, and especially from when you're traveling by plane. But the train will also take you from city center to city center. So when it comes to travel time, the train is also competitive with other ways of transportation, even though this is not a high-speed line. This is Berlin Hauptbahnhof, Berlin Main Station, or Berlin Central Railway Station. I arrived by train from the Netherlands, and my train did arrive at one of the tracks that you will find at the highest level. So I will do this tour from the upper levels of the railway station and go down to the lower level. My train will depart from the lowest level. The upper levels will give you some tracks for some long distance and regional trains, and this is also where you find the S-Bahn. The S-Bahn is somewhere like between a regional train and a metro. Right below that you will find a lot of shops and most railway related services, like for example a luggage drop-off, as you can see here. Something else you can find here is a Reisezentrum, which stands for travel center. So this is basically where you can buy train tickets. You will find some ticket counters inside and some vending machines outside, but also within this Reisezentrum. The first class lounge is pretty close to this and can be found at this spot here on my right. Of course, you will find vending machines where you can buy train tickets at other spots in this railway station as well. Although, comparing to lots of other railway stations, I found the number of vending machines relatively low. This railway station has been open since 2006, and because of all the glass, it's a really light railway station as well. It serves approximately 300,000 passengers on a daily basis, and you'll find quite a lot of international trains that will go from or to this railway station. I will explain you a bit more when I show you the train that I'll be taking today. Time to continue the way to the ground level. At the ground level you will find a bit more shops, and you also find the entrances and exits from and to this railway station that will take you right outside. Near one entrance and exit you will find a tram stop and some bus stops. When you leave the station right away you also find some bike and e-scooter sharing programs. And over here you also find some basic screens with information about departing trams and buses from here. A taxi stand can be found at both sides of this railway station. Pretty close from here there's also an international and long distance bus stop, although I don't know exactly where, so I didn't film it. Time to enter the railway station again. You will find big screens at both entrances and exits where you find information about the upcoming departing trains. And pretty close from here you will find an information point of DP where you can go to ask for information about departing trains and also local transport. Where you find most railway related services and shops at the first level, at the ground level you will also find a lot of shops. Over here you find for example electronic shops, but also a lot of fashion related shops. And of course just what you may expect at every railway station, you will find lots of places where you can buy food. For example, a small food court here on my left. Toilets can be found at several spots in this railway station. As you may expect, this is quite a big railway station. Therefore, you'll find several maps in this railway station that will not just give information where you need to go to for what platforms, but also where you can find what shops and facilities. The different floors are very well connected by stairs and escalators, but you also find a lot of elevators that will take you right from one point of this railway station to the other point. Elevators will come out directly at the railway tracks, so therefore check the number at the elevator before you enter the elevator if it takes you to the right railway track. Within this railway station you'll find lots of smaller digital screens that will host information about departing trains from here, and in general directions are clearly given. Time to move on and go to the first lower level. Of course, at this place you will also find a lot of shops and places where you can buy food. But apart from that, you also find the entrance to the metro, for example, over here. From the end of 2020, line U5 will call at this railway station. At the first lower level, you will also find a scale model of this railway station. This really gives a good impression of how the tracks are and, well, the size of this railway station. Pretty close to this, you will find several car rental companies. Like I mentioned, you will find quite a lot of digital screens that will host information about departing and arriving trains. You'll also find these old school paper timetables at several spots in this railway station. When it comes to digital passenger service information, I think there can be some improvements, because you will find big general screens when you enter the railway station, but when you're near the platforms over here at the first lower level, the information is only about the specific platforms. And this is my train listed over here. So, time to go to the platform. At the platform you will find big screens that will host information about the upcoming departing train and also give basic information about the next departing trains from here. A small train composition display can be found on these screens as well, but at these screens you will find more detailed train composition information. This is not digital, so whenever something changes for whatever reason, this won't be up to date. Therefore, you can use the DB app to get this real-time train composition. The letters at these train composition displays will correspond with the letters you can find above the platforms. For example, C you can see over here. Time to show you the train. Before I show you the train, I will give you some small explanation about the specific route that I'll be taking today. Therefore, I took a picture of the European railway map covering this area. By the way, not all railway lines are listed on this specific map. I'll be taking the train from Berlin, the capital of Germany, to Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic. You will find trains approximately every 2 hours on this route. However, most trains will not just run between Berlin and Prague. There's only one train per day that runs only between Berlin and Prague. Most other trains do start a little bit north from Berlin in Germany. For example, you find one train per day that will start the service in Kiel and 3 trains per day that do start the service in Hamburg. And on the south section there are some changes as well. Not all trains will terminate in Prague, although most trains do. There's one train per day that will continue its way via Vienna to Graz in Austria. And there's also one train per day that will continue its way via Bratislava to Budapest in Hungary. The trains that run to Bratislava and Budapest will start or end their service in Hamburg, and the trains that will continue its way to Vienna and Graz do start or terminate in Berlin. The trains that do continue their way into Austria are railjet trains, and railjet is a branded train type of both the Czech and Austrian railway companies. Most railjet trains are of the Austrian railway companies, but the railjet trains that run on this route are of the České dráhy, the state-owned railway company of the Czech Republic. The trains that do continue their way to Hungary are different from the trains that I'll be showing today as well. Those carriages are of the state-owned railway company of Hungary. All other trains on this route are like the train that I'll be showing today. At this picture I zoomed in a bit more. As you can see, south from Dresden until a little bit north from Prague, this is also marked as a scenic route. The train that I'll be taking today is a EuroCity train. All trains on this route, except for the one that will go into Austria, are EuroCity trains. And a EuroCity is in general a train that is not the highest ranked of a country. These are never high-speed trains, but there are some basic requirements that need to be fulfilled before you can call a train a EuroCity train. For example, there needs to be a dining car, the average speed, what includes the stops along the way, needs to be at least 90 km per hour, and there are some standards for the cleanness of these trains. Most EuroCity trains are trains that do exist of carriages that are being pulled by a locomotive, and I just love the view from the back. A digital destination board can be found at the side of these trains. This will give the car number but also the train number and the route. Other facilities, like what you can find in these carriages, are written on the side as well. Over here you can also see the seat numbers and the class. I'll start off by showing the second class. You will find different carriages for the second class, and I'll start off by showing the open coaches. You can find the chairs in a 2x2 configuration. This is typical for European second class carriages. At the back of the train you'll find some special facilities for young children. For example, these games when you fold out the tables that are facing each other, and there's one special compartment for when you're traveling with young children. Facilities for passengers traveling on a wheelchair can be found pretty close to this. Most chairs in these open coach second class carriages come in an airplane or coach composition. You'll find a footrest, a magazine rack and a fold-out table in the chair in front of you. You do have enough leg space, although I'm a very tall guy. When I do recline these chairs, you don't have that much space, but well, it's still pretty fine. You will find power plugs between the chairs, and all chairs do have their own reading lights. All windows do have a sunscreen, and coat hangers can be found near the windows as well. Screens both at the ceiling and at the moment you will enter the train will be displaying route information in Czech, German and English. Also the speed will be displayed here every now and then. Carriage numbers will be displayed on these screens as well. You can store quite a lot of luggage in the overhead luggage racks, but apart from that, in these open coaches you will find some luggage racks between the chairs. Like I just mentioned, most chairs do come in an airplane or coach composition, and you will find some chairs facing each other with a table in between. Near the family compartment for when you're traveling with young children, board games will be printed on these tables. Garbage cans can be found at the side near the aisle. You will find facilities for taking your bike in these trains. However, you're obligated to make a reservation when you take your bike on these trains. When you're traveling as an individual passenger, you're not obligated to make a reservation, but you can make a reservation. Seat numbers can be found at the luggage racks, and you will find these digital screens that will indicate from where to where a seat has been reserved. Just keep in mind, lots of promotional fares are for a specific train only. So, when you're traveling with a promotional fare, you can't just take any train on these routes. The second class carriages that do come in compartments look like this. They do host 6 people, and you will find a small table at the sides. Here you also find a garbage can, and luggage racks can be found at both ends. You won't find a sunscreen, but you will find curtains, and just behind the curtains you will find power plugs. You can recline these chairs as well. You can make yourself pretty comfortable over here. Screens that do host route information can be found at the ceiling of the hallway in these carriages, and also at the beginning of all carriages near the entrances and the exits. Between the first and the second class you'll find the dining car. There's one desk for takeaway orders, and when you go a little bit more into the direction of the first class you will find the restaurant over here. They do have a very good selection of food, and it's also very affordable to have. And of course, when you're going to the Czech Republic, you should try some local drinks. At the other end of the dining car you'll find the first class carriage. The first class comes in a 2x1 configuration and is, well, basically the same as the second class carriages, but they do have some more space. Just like the open coaches for the second class, you will find luggage racks above the chairs and also within these compartments. Screens at the ceiling will indicate route information. You'll find a lot of power plugs over here. Most chairs do come in a touring car coach/aeroplane composition. You will find a footrest, a magazine rack and a table. And as you can see, you have way more space than what you find in the second class. Even if I recline these chairs, I still have an awful lot of space. At the side you won't find sunscreens but curtains instead. Above these chairs on the luggage racks you will find reading lights, just like in second class. And the seat reservations are displayed at exactly the same spot as in the open coaches of the second class. First class will give you more comfortable seats, more space and more service. You will get, for example, at some parts of the journey a free newspaper and a bottle of water, and orders from the dining car will be delivered right at your seat. At the railway station you also have some more service. For example, the first class waiting rooms, and in the Czech Republic you can use the priority line when you're at the ticket counter, for example in the railway station of Prague. In all carriages free Wi-Fi is available, although I didn't test it out. And when you're traveling in second class, a trolley will come by every now and then as well for some drinks and snacks. At last, I show you the toilets. The toilets in the carriage where you find the disabled facilities and the children compartment look like this. You can turn them into a nursery space as well. This is how the other toilets look like. Pretty fine, but a bit smaller. For the last 2.5 minutes I'll show you some views from the train on this route. After Dresden, this is also a scenic route. When you're interested in the station of Prague, check out my video on the train from Prague to Munich. So I'm here in Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic. I hope you like this video. When you like it, please give me a thumbs up on YouTube. And well, like I said in the introduction, when you'd like to see more train related videos like this, subscribe to my channel. There will be another video where I'll be featuring this railway station, and that will be on the train from here to Munich in Germany. See you on my next video.